So hi and welcome to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the documents that you need to have if you want to come to the UK through the carer pathway. And some of these requirements are going to be really generic with any pathway at all. If you're wanting to come to the UK, it really doesn't matter, but you're going to need these particular requirements and these documents. What are they? So actually, before I continue, before I forget, I'm going to be doing a live session that anybody can attend. If you want to move to the UK or you're already in the UK and you're thinking about career progression, you 100% want to attend this live session. So I'm going to be talking about the different pathways that are available to move to the UK. So how can you move to the UK in 2023? But most importantly, I'm going to be talking about why you 100% want to move to the UK in 2023. But most importantly, and something that I'm particularly passionate about, is career progression in the UK. So if you're already in the UK, what career pathways can you get into? How can you earn more money? How can you get into a job that you enjoy? How can you have a career that you really love? That is really the number one thing that I'm particularly passionate about and that I specialize in, supporting people that are already in the UK, nurses, carers, student nurses, people that want to excel in their careers, to thrive. So I'm going to be talking about the different pathways that are available. What else can you do if you're already in the UK? So you want to check the link in the comment section. You're going to find a link to my newsletter. You want to join that newsletter, and then I'm going to send you a link to that live session. So the live session is going to be on Zoom. It's going to be in January, and I'll send you all the details of the live session when it's, and all of that, because you 100% want to attend. So whether you're still planning to come to the UK or you're already in the UK, you 100% want to attend it, because look, and by the way, if it's your first time here, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, I do appreciate the time that you take to watch these videos. I know how much time it takes, and I really hope that they're helpful. I hope that you're able to implement this information. And I want to leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I will implement. Because look, if you keep watching all these videos, you keep getting information without any implementation, it is useless. And that's what many people are doing. Video after video after video with nothing being done. You don't want to be wasting all of that time. You want to be putting your effort in places that count. When you watch a video, you need to implement the information, because many of these videos, that people do on YouTube are incredibly helpful. They have really amazing information. It doesn't matter whether it's my video or someone else's video, but there are so many, people that are giving out a lot of useful information. But I think the challenge is that there is information overload, and so people end up not really implementing it. So please, I want to leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I will implement. So the first thing I'm going to say is, if you're wanting to travel to the UK or to any country for that matter, and you don't have a passport, look, I don't know what you're about. You're just messing around, because it doesn't make any sense. You need to have an international passport. The reason I'm talking about this is because I had a message come to my inbox with somebody saying, Melvis, do I really need a passport if I'm moving to the UK? And I was thinking to myself, really? If you don't have a passport, then how do you intend to get the visa? And I rang the girl and I said, look, I just saw your question and I'm wondering, if you're wanting to move, how do you think you're going to get the visa? And she was like, well, I was just wondering, because it takes about 6 months to 12 months to get a passport in my country. So I was wondering whether I really need it. I was like, you 100% need it. And then I said to her, have you applied for the passport? She was like, no, not yet, because it takes too long. I was like, well, my dear, you need to apply. So if you're watching this and you've got your passport, I want to leave a comment in the comment section and say, Melvis, I've got my passport, because that is the first and the most important document that you need to have if you're wanting to travel overseas. You want to travel abroad, you want to leave your country, you cannot do so without a passport. If you're coming to the UK from Africa, from Asia, from America, wherever you're coming from, you 100% need a passport. So that's the first document. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I want you to hit subscribe, turn on that notification button, because you 100% want to be the first to be notified when I drop a new video on here. And just one more thing as well, my name is Melvis. I currently work for the NHS as an advanced nurse practitioner. I have a private career coaching service where I support nurses, carers, student nurses, prospective student nurses, as well as people that want to move to the UK, with career progression, visa sponsorship, jobs, pathways, interview preparation, CV review. So if you're keen on any of these, you want to check out my private coaching program to join and make sure that you're getting that support that you need. Because look, 2023, you 100% want to achieve your goals. You don't want to be stuck in the same position, because look, when I moved to the UK a few years back as an international student, I was working as a band 1 carer. but I've been able to progress from about one carer to working as an advanced nurse practitioner for the NHS. And look, this is the most senior clinical nursing position. It hasn't been easy, but I have been focused, looking at those goals, considering why I moved to the UK. Because for me, if you're not getting that career progression, it's not worth moving to the UK. It's not just that you move to the UK, you're here, and then nothing else happens to you. What happens to you when you're in the UK is incredibly important. And that's why I'm so passionate about career progression for people that are already in the UK. What are you doing with yourself? Yes, you're here as a carer. What next? You cannot be stuck in that position. You're here as a nurse. Do you just want to be a band 5 nurse for the rest of your career? No. So if you're watching my videos, you better be a high achiever. You better be willing to implement that information. You better be ready in 2023, because I'm going to be making sure that I'm chasing you up to do what you're supposed to be doing. So like we've said, you need a passport. The second thing you need is a certificate of sponsorship. So if you're coming, whether it's a skilled worker visa, it's unskilled, it's a carer, it's a nurse, you need a certificate of sponsorship. So a course, simply said, is what your employer gives you when you have a job. So it is not a physical document, it is more of a code that you're given, and you must have that in order for the embassy to give you a visa. So a course is when you've applied for a job, you've gone through the interview, you've been successful, and that employer then gives you a certificate of sponsorship, which you then use to apply for your visa at the British Embassy. So that's basically what it is. So, and that's why I also emphasize on the importance of making sure that the job search process, you are spot on. Because look, it is not how many jobs you apply for that matters. It's making sure that you have the right skills that are needed to apply for those jobs, so that you're not spending time applying for hundreds and thousands of jobs, but you have a CV that is good enough for the job that you're applying for. For example, if you're applying for a carer job, what's the type of carer job? What are they looking for? What experience have you got? Is it relevant experience to that particular job? If you are applying for thousands of jobs with the same CV and you're still going on, it does not make any sense. You need to stop it, at a certain point and say, look, why am I not getting these jobs? Why am I struggling? So again, if this is you and you're in this position, you want to make sure that you check my the link in the comment section. You want to join my email list. You want to join that newsletter, because when I'm doing that live session, you want to attend it, because I'm going to talk about some of these things and how they can literally help you to be able to enhance your skills. If you're part of my private coaching program, then obviously we go through this in detail, because it is not easy applying for jobs the right way. Let me tell you, it takes a lot of time, energy, and effort. But all people are doing is going online. Where is the link for the job? Where is the link for the job? Sending in more applications. It does not work. If you've already applied for 10 jobs and you've had no feedback or negative feedback, you need to stop and change something. You cannot carry on submitting the same CV, the same personal statement, and expecting a different outcome. It's not going to happen, because you need to tailor it, perfectly well to the job that you're applying for. That's what I'm talking about, because this is something that I do. This is what I specialize in, supporting nurses to get senior positions in the UK. If you apply for a job once and you're not successful, twice, 3 times, you need to change something. You need to step back, reevaluate the situation, and change. You cannot keep sending in the same CV, the same everything, and expecting a different outcome, because it's not going to work. This is not like trial and error. You're applying for jobs. You want to be recruited. So again, if you're enjoying this content, I want you to hit, that like button. It lets me know that you're enjoying the video and that I should do more videos like this, because I only do videos that I feel that people are requesting or that people are interested in. Otherwise, it's a waste of my time, which is not worth it, because as you know, life is busy. We're all busy. There's a lot to be done, and none of us want to wasting our time. So leave a comment that says, Melvis, I will implement. So the second document is the cost. The third document, therefore, is a TB certificate. So TB, which is tuberculosis, is a highly infectious disease that is mainly found in tropical countries. So if you're wanting to move to a country where the rate of TB is low, they want to know that you're TB free, or even if you've got it, that you get the right treatment that you need and that you deserve. So that certificate is to really show your TB status. So that's why it's very, very important. And like I said, in tropical countries, it is more prevalent, but in countries like the UK, it is almost inexistent, except from, people that have moved to the UK. So that's why this certificate, again, is very, very important. So You want to make sure that you've got that ready. And then you need your IELTS. So English, obviously, as we know, is a very important part of moving to the UK. So you need to write English. And many people are always like, oh, should I write IELTS academic or should I write IELTS UKVI? The general rule of thumb I'm going to say is that if you're applying for unskilled visa jobs, unskilled UK jobs, yeah, IELTS UKVI is always enough. If you're applying for professional jobs or coming as a student, you want IELTS academic, obviously as per the name, that's going to guide you, that's going to lead you, that's going to give you some clues as per the name, obviously. So IELTS UKVI generally goes for unskilled worker jobs, or, dependent visas and things like that, But if you're coming as a skilled worker or as a student, then obviously you want the right out. And then obviously we've got the fees. So if you're wanting to travel to the UK has, some of the most expensive visa fees in the world. So if you want, most of the visas cost about £1,270. That's how much they want in your account in maintenance funds. So you normally need to have that money in your account for at least 28 days from the day that you're applying for the visa, which means that if you're applying for jobs, ideally you want to have that money in your account already. Because if you don't, when you go to the embassy, look, they will not give you the visa because they're going to say that you don't meet the financial requirements for that particular visa. And that's not a good thing. When you've struggled and applied for jobs, you know how tough it is getting the certificate of sponsorship. So you don't want to get it and then lose it. Because if you do, like I said, that's not a good idea. And again, the certificate of sponsorship is only valid for 3 months, which means that from when your employer gives it to you, you ideally want to be ready to apply for that visa. So a passport, for example, like I say, somebody recently missed an opportunity to move to the UK as a carer because they didn't have a passport. They applied for a job, got shortlisted, did an interview, was successful, which is fantastic, but didn't have a visa. I'm like, how can you be wanting to travel abroad and you don't have a passport? So please, I want to leave a comment and say, Melvis, I have my passport. That's just the reassurance. That's the first and the most basic thing that you need to be doing if you're wanting to travel. If you don't have a passport, please, you need to, after watching this video, you need to go and apply for a passport because you 100% need it, no matter the type of visa, no matter the country even that you're trying to travel to, you need to have a passport because some of the opportunities that come up, they're not going to be waiting for you. Because, for example, when the care visa pathway was announced initially, the people that were ready, the people that heard about it and immediately took action. I remember I had people in my private coaching program within 1 month, they were all moving to the UK. But right now, it is a major challenge trying to get this certificate of sponsorship, trying to get carer jobs in the UK. It is a lot more challenging right now because there's so much politics going on that it is just become almost impossible and very, very challenging getting jobs. If you're watching this and you've been applying for jobs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But when the carer pathway was announced last year, it was a lot easier to get a job. And that's why if you're ready, look, this is 2023. If you're wanting to travel and you're serious about traveling, you need to have all your documents ready. There's no time to waste. There's no time to wait for anybody. And there's an amazing opportunity that Ireland has announced. They're going to be recruiting 1,000 carers for this year in 2023. So obviously, if you need to be ready. That's what I'm saying, because those who are ready are the ones that will get the opportunities easily at the beginning. Right now in the UK, to get a carer job, like I've said, it has become very, very challenging. You need to really, really dot your I's, cut your T's, make sure everything is perfect. Your CV, personal statement, every single thing has to be so perfect. Otherwise, it's going to be tough, and that's why so many people are applying for job after job after job, for hundreds and thousands of jobs, and you're just getting those unfortunate emails. So please, you want to make sure that you stand out from the crowd. And if you're part of my private coaching program, obviously, then I'm going to support you through that process. But look, you do need to be patient because it takes a lot of time. You need to put in the work as well because a lot of effort is needed. And look, we're all busy because you've got kids, you're working as well, you're trying to think about this traveling thing, and it takes time. But you've got to be persistent. You've got to carry on, because if you give up and say, oh my God, I'm gonna give up because it's too much hassle, then that's the end. You're just gonna lose out and stay stuck where you are. So again, if you're watching this channel, you're a high achiever. You're somebody who wants to implement. Again, if you haven't joined my newsletter, you want to check below. Make sure you join that newsletter because I'm going to be doing that live session. I want you to attend. Once you join the newsletter and I've got everything ready for the live session, I'm going to send you the direct link. Also share with your friends that you know that want to travel to the UK, or if they're already in the UK, invite them, because I'm really passionate about career progression, career pathways. How can you progress? How can you excel? How can you thrive? How can you have the best job for your personal circumstances? Because as far as I'm concerned, moving to the UK is not an achievement. It is not an achievement. It is what you do with your life when you get to the UK that really matters to me. And that's really what I look at, because people are always very excited, like, oh my God, I can't wait to be in the UK. But I can assure you that for 99.9% of us, when you step foot here, it's like, OMG, this is not what I expected. Was I better off back home? Should I even go back? It can be very, very stressful. So having that guidance, having that mentorship, having that direction and that confidence, and just the guidance that you need to say, look, you can do X, you can do Y, this is how you do this, is how you do that, is incredibly time saving. And what it does to you, what it does for you, is save you years and years of stress. Because for me, for example, the pathways that I've taken, to achieve my goals, knowing what I now know, it would take me a much shorter time. I can assure you that it would take me a much shorter time now if I was doing exactly the same thing. And this is what I try to do with people that are part of my private coaching program, saying to them, look, it took me 5 years, to become an advanced nurse practitioner. It doesn't have to take you 5 years. It could take you 2 years. It could take you 3 years, because now I know exactly what it entails, what the processes are, what they are looking out for, and all of that. And it just helps to then support, fellow nurses, fellow midwives, carers, to progress, to excel through that pathway, and ensure that you are getting the best job for your skills and for your personal circumstances, and a job that is going to make your life in the UK so fulfilling, so satisfying, and not filled with regrets, not filled with, remorse, and not filled with, thinking, should I go back home? Was it ever worth coming to the UK? I don't want that for any of us. And that's the reason I do all these videos. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I do want you to hit subscribe right now, turn on that notification button, because I'm all about career progression, supporting you and making sure that you excel and you continue to achieve your goals here in the UK. Because 2023, you don't want to stay stuck in the same position. You want to make sure that you are, if you can achieve something, like I said, in 6 months, there's no reason you should be taking 10 years to do so, because staying stuck in the same position can be incredibly stressful. So these documents, you want to make sure that you've got all these documents. And one last tip, actually, because you've watched till now, if you have your certificate of sponsorship and you want to make sure you avoid that maintenance funds, because look, it can be difficult if you're in Africa, for example, getting that £1,270. One thing that you can do is say to your employer, look, can you certify maintenance for me and my dependents? What this means is that if your employer adds it to your certificate of sponsorship that they are taking care of your maintenance, then you don't have to provide that yourself. And all they need to do is tick yes on your certificate of sponsorship. So it is incredibly amazing. This is a tip that I give all members of my private coaching program when they get jobs. I say to them, look, we need to say to your employer to include that, so that you can come with your family, you can come with your husband, your wife, your kids at the same time without needing to show any maintenance funds. It is huge. So again, my name is Melvis. I'm here to support you with your UK journey. If you're already in the UK, I'm very passionate about our career progression, supporting you to make sure that whether you're looking for those highly paid clinical, non-clinical healthcare jobs, career progression pathways, you're wanting to transition from a carer to a qualified nurse, from a carer to a midwife, or other healthcare professions, then this is something that I can 100% support you through. And do make sure that you've got all these documents. We've listed 5 documents. So you've got your passport, you've got your course, your TB certificate, your out, and you've got your visa fees. Those are the things that you need to have in place if you're wanting to come to the UK or any country for that matter, because a passport is a must. So leave a comment and say, Melvis, I've got my passport and I will implement all these. Make sure that you join my newsletter, because when I'm doing that live session, you 100% want to be present. You 100% want to make sure that you don't miss out, because I'll also be telling you about my private coaching program, how I can support you through that. And if you're keen, obviously, I can share the link with you so that you can have a look and make sure that you also join. Because the truth is, getting that support is going to take you 100 steps ahead, so you don't keep struggling, and being stuck and feeling frustrated in whatever it is that you're doing. So thank you so much for watching the video. I really do appreciate your time and watching till now, and I do wish you the very best, and I look forward to seeing you, in the next video. Thank you so much, and enjoy your day. Thank you.